But anyways, with it, so with this geography, we see that there's mountains and hills in all of these pictures. It's going to be a very dominant geographic feature. You'll see lots of trees too, which we'll get to that in a minute. So, Greece, as we were told by excellent, brilliant students, is a peninsula and archipelago. Yes, there are some little narrow isthmuses too, but we see we've got these peninsulas, land mostly surrounded by water, and of course archipelagos, hundreds and hundreds of islands. Now, we have the Aegean Sea over here to the east, the Mediterranean Sea to the south, and the Ionian Sea to the west. Yes, I'm going to want you to know your seas. All right. And of course, as we had here by Didi, many, 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 many mountains. You know, that's why our song, it starts, mountains and water divide, because mountains and water are going to divide up Greece. What it's going to do is it's going to cause isolation because, okay, think about it. Right now, we have an amazing thing happening. We are miles and miles and miles apart. Like, there was a period, like, I remember when it was snowing, Lance, he was down in Virginia, but yet he could still join us virtually. You know, I'm over here in Jefferson. I mean, who knows where Madeline Kate is, maybe the moon, but she is here with us right now. I mean, actually, I guess I should say that's for Supriya because she's hanging out in space right now, which is pretty cool. But you guys, we're all over the place and we're able to communicate and connect. We have the technology, we have the phones, all of that stuff. But the Greeks didn't have that sort of thing back then. You know, so when you were in Sparta, if you wanted to go like get to Athens, you had to walk. I mean, maybe you have a horse, you had to go through all these mountain passes and things. So the communities of Greece were isolated. And that's going to make it so that the Greeks have city-states as opposed to one unified Greece. So just like when we were in Mesopotamia and we'd say Mesopotamia and talk about it as a whole, we were understanding that we're actually talking about many different countries. Now they're going to have cultural similarities. They're going to have the same language, but we'll see there's going to be even differences amongst those things, such as what gods and goddesses they preferred, and some big cultural differences when you talk about places like Sparta and Athens in particular. So it's not a unified Greece, it is city-states. Now, continuing on, we saw that there are many forests in those pictures, so they're going to have lots of trees. Now think about it. Think about it. We have got Kaylin here. We throw her on an island and there's lots of trees. What is Kaylin going to do? She's going to build a boat because she wants to get off of there. And she wants to say, how can I make the money? And so she's going to do this by becoming a merchant. All right. So we're going to have all of these trees going and turning into boats so they can trade. But you might be thinking, Mr. Kenny, trade is useless if you don't have anything people want. Well, guess what? The Greeks have something people wanted. Their geography allows them to grow lots of grapes and olives. Now, grapes are going to be important because they're going to make that into wine. And you think, Mr. Kenny, why did everyone in the ancient times want to get drunk? No, they didn't want to get drunk. It's just if they're drinking water, they could get sick because it was hard to get clean water, especially water that you know, had away from it, like a stream or water source. So they'd have to add wine to it to kill the bacteria. They didn't know they're killing bacteria. They just knew they didn't start getting sick if they didn't drink wine with their water. So they'd add just a little bit of wine to their water. But for the Greeks particularly, it's not just the wine, but it is the olive. Now, I know what you're thinking. Olives are the most delicious thing because they are. Green olives, black olives, they're all so good. I love olives. But not everyone loves olives, but they probably like what it can do. And I'll get to you in one moment, darling. Thank you. I promise. Let me say this one thing. Olives weren't just for food, but it was the oil. What did you want to say, Alicia?
I was just gonna say I love the myth that is attached to the invention of the olive.
Yes, with Athena, and we will get to it, I promise.
Yay!
Oh yeah, no, I love myths, Alicia, and we did not get into enough Egyptian ones. We would have had more if we were in person, but alas. But yeah, we'll get to all of those. Thank you for bringing it up, darling. There's a great myth with it. Anyways, olives weren't just for the food. They're great. They're tasty. They're delicious. I'm pretty sure I saw Madeline Kate shoving her face with olives just a moment ago when I said the word olive. But yeah, she's just like, oh yeah, I'd eat them so bad. And the thing is, it's about the oil. Olive oil is super duper important in the ancient times. Now, I use it nearly every day for cooking. It's my preferred cooking oil, although I also like to use bacon grease. But back then, particularly, they used it for lanterns because, they can't just flip a switch and have a light. They need a way to have light. And so they would have oil lanterns, often olive oil. It was used for lubrication of things because like oil was something we used to make mechanical things work. They would use it for lubrication of things. And they would even use it to help with bathing. Because let's face it, sometimes Avery gets dirty. It's true. It's true. It happens. Avery, he's out playing, gets dirty. He and Zach are wrestling. And so what he would do is he would put olive oil on his skin and then take like a seashell and scrape the olive oil off. And what that would do is not only would it get the dirt, the grime, it would remove the dead skin. He's exfoliating, guys. Girls know what exfoliation is. It's like removing dead skin and stuff like that. I don't know. Very girly. But it's okay for us to do it too. Now we get to the climate. The climate of Greece is Mediterranean. And it makes it totally easy for us to remember because it's in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. So, duh, Mediterranean climate. And what that means, though, is awesome temperatures. So I'm talking like lows are like 55 and highs are in the 80s. So that's right, like perfect weather year round. I know, it's amazing. If you want to experience something like that, check out California. Much of it has a Mediterranean climate as well. Also, lots and lots of sunshine. Hooray! Now that wouldn't be great for me because like as soon as like I even think about sunshine, I get sunburned. I'm turning red as you speak. But lots and lots of sunshine. I just have to wear a big hat. And limited rainfall. Typically the rain is in the wintertime. Now, that being said, there are lots of mountains. So yes, in the wintertime, there are mountains covered in snow. This is true. But if you're not on the mountains, you're probably getting rain. And that's only in the wintertime because then in the summertime, when it's time to play, it's nice and sunny out there. Now, so that's going to be our notes for the day. However, we do have a little bit of a review kind of thing to play to see how much